Hello, it's a great pleasure to be here. I would like to thank Mr. Kotsis and Mrs. Chan for this invitation. My name is Paraskevi Bougiouka, and I am a resident at the Alexandra General Hospital in Athens. I will present a paper about the recent findings regarding the epidemiology of diabetes mellitus and the concerns that arise from the new findings. Generally speaking, it seems that the incidence and prevalence of type 1 diabetes are increasing worldwide. In 2019, the incidence of type 1 diabetes was 15 per 100,000 people, and the prevalence was 9.5 per 10,000 people. America had the highest percentages, and you can see, incidence 20 and prevalence 12.2. Africa was lower with incidence at 8 and prevalence at 3.5. And Europe was somewhere in the middle with incidence 15 per 100,000 people and prevalence 12.2 per 10,000 people. According to IDF Atlas, in Europe alone, 61 million adults live with diabetes. The prediction is that by 2045, the number of the adults in Europe will have risen to 69 million people. The statistics of the WHO regarding Europe reveal that of the about 60 million Europeans who suffer from diabetes, the percentage of men is slightly higher than that of the women. The reasons why we have such a rapid increase have mostly to do with our sedentary lifestyle, our diet, age, even social and economic parameters. Here we can see the country-by-country statistics for Europe. Germany has the highest percentage, followed by Portugal, Malta, and Spain. Germany has the highest prevalence of diabetes in Europe among the adult population with 15.3%. Greece is on the 22nd place at 7.4% people diagnosed with diabetes mellitus. The Attica study is our most recent source of information about Greece. Although it focuses on Athens, it provides us with very useful insight. It took place from May 2001 to December 2002 and involved 1,514 men and 1,528 women aged 18 to 89, stratified by age and gender with no cardiovascular or other chronic disease. Their diabetes was defined according to the other criteria. Dietary habits assessed through a validated food frequency questionnaire. A diet score was developed and weekly energy expenditure was evaluated. Here we can see some results. 118 men and 92 women had diabetes, a percentage of 7.6 for men and 6 in women. Men younger than 65 and women older than 65 had a higher prevalence. 23% of men and 14% of women had prediabetes. The prevalence of diabetes was higher in those with a family history. As expected, the diabetic patients were less physically active, less educated, and less devoted to their diet. They had higher BMI and higher prevalence of central fat. The metabolic syndrome was present in 65% of men and 62% of women with diabetes. Participants with diabetes had higher prevalence of hypertension, hypercholesterolemia, and higher triglycerides levels. Higher alcohol intake increased the likelihood of having diabetes. The prevalence of diabetes in no physical activity was 4.6%. As we can here, we can see that in Greece, the prevalence of diabetes was 9.6% in 2021. It is estimated that 2,905 people have type 1 diabetes. I would like to refer in short to MODI, which is thought to account for at least 1 to 3% of all diabetes. Prevalence of MODI may vary by country and between children and adults. LADA account for 2 to 12% of all causes of diabetes in adult population. According to multi-center studies carried out in Europe, Asia, and North America, 4 to 14 of patients diagnosed with type 2 diabetes are positive for type 1 diabetes associated autoantibodies. I would like also to refer about the association of diabetes and COVID. The incidence of diabetes with COVID infection was 15.8 compared to 12.3 per 1,000 people per year with acute upper respiratory infection. The relative risk of developing type 2 diabetes was 28% higher in the COVID group. Prevalence of type 1 diabetes in patients with SARS-CoV-2 ranged from 0.15% to 28.98%. Diabetes is one of the fastest growing public health problems in the world. Global diabetes prevalence is estimated to be 9.3%. Diabetes prevalence has been rising more rapidly in urban than rural areas and in higher income than lower income countries. The incidence and prevalence of type 1 diabetes are increasing worldwide. Type 2 composes 85 to 90% of diabetes incidence in the white race and about 95% in other races. China is the very center of the worldwide diabetes crisis. In conclusion, the key for diabetes is awareness and prevention. Thank you for your attention.